What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be talking about aliens. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo, and if you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you have come to the right place. And like I said, today we're talking about aliens. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, continuing on my alien review series in preparation for Alien Romulus, we are coming to the second installment of Aliens, which is most people's favorite, and it's also one of my favorites. But before we get started, let's make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think about the Alien franchise in the comment section down below. Share your excitement for Alien Romulus. Love to hear all you guys' thoughts. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the pros. Now, starting off with the pros, I love that this pretty much takes place right after the original movie, you know, some decades later, since Ripley has been in hypersleep for the past few decades, and she finally gets found, and the alien planet that we originally visited in the first movie that caused the xenomorph to get on the ship to begin with has now been inhabited by the company, and now they got to get back because they lost all signal. And I just love that introduction where Ripley has so much conflicting emotions of, you know, should I go back? Should I help these people? Should I just be done with them? I've already experienced this horrific massacre with the alien. Why would I ever put myself back in that situation ever again? But she gets convinced because they let her know that they were going to go and destroy the aliens. We're not trying to bring them back for analyzing or study or anything like that. We are going to kill these aliens, and that switches her on to be the badass that she was in the first one, to get to this planet and wreak havoc on these aliens once and for all. Now, I think this movie is shot beautifully. Of course, James Cameron is the director of this film. You never, ever, ever play a hand against James Cameron. He has such beautiful shots, directing, visuals, storytelling. This movie is extremely pleasing to watch on screen. You know, some of the effects, like in the first Alien, you know, look a little dated when you see like the ship kind of going to the planet. You can tell that it's like a still picture than just like a ship kind of moving through it and stuff like that, and you know, and that's totally fine. Of course, we have limitations back then with what kind of effects they were able to achieve and everything like that. However, once you get into more kind of close in and practical effects when it comes to the actual xenomorphs and some of the gore and explosions and all the set design and everything like that, it looks immaculate. There is not a flaw within this movie when it comes to like the effects and practical effects and what you're seeing on screen and how intense it is, and you know, the use of lighting, very similar to the first one where, you know, they hide the xenomorphs within the dark, and it makes them a lot more menacing in the way they come. And now, since there's so much more of them, the way they come in groups, that makes it even more intense. You know, the first movie, there was one alien that wreaked havoc on, you know, 6 crewmates. Imagine what 50, 60, 70 of these things can do to just a single squad. And I just love that ramp up of intensity, where this is still a horror movie, but it's more of a horror action movie. And you have all these little horror elements with being just such a badass, like Carnage Candy movie when it comes to alien killing. And I like the characters that were kind of introduced here. Of course, we have like this Marine Corps where they're supposed to be the brutes, the badasses, the ones that are going to go and take care of business. They don't really believe Ripley. You know, Ripley is trying to warn them, and they're kind of making it like as if it's a joke. And even the way they kind of frame them, where they're, you know, talking behind Ripley's back a little bit, like, oh, you know, who's this princess over here? And you know, they're trying to make these people look like they're the strong ones. And by the end of it, Ripley is like the sole survivor that takes care of all of them and takes down the queen alien. And I just love that kind of aspect of it, where you see someone that was never a soldier before, but is just so badass and has so much quick wit and can just take control of a situation and make decisions and stick with her decisions and just be that badass that she needs to be to keep people safe. I just love how they make that comparison with a whole Marine Corps group feeling like kids in comparison to Ripley. And speaking of Ripley, she is amazing in this movie, just like she is an Alien. I love Ripley's performance. She is much more of a badass within this film, where she actually kind of takes charge and is in the front line when it comes to the battle and the fighting, and especially that end battle between Ripley and the Queen Alien. You got Scream Queen versus Alien Queen. What else can you ask for? Such a badass finishing battle, and especially with the alien queen having such a unique, awesome design. I've always loved the way the alien queen looks. It's so menacing and huge, and she has like that big kind of crown looking head and stuff like that. So I've always loved the way the alien queen looks, and that final battle has always been extremely epic. And Ripley just, of course, being that badass final girl that cements this movie in like one of the best horror movies of all time. And I even love how, you know, Ripley at first is very pushback when it comes to the android that is on ship with them, and by the end of it, they come full circle where they're, you know, they have that mutual respect, they have, you know, that care for each other. Where Ripley understands that, you know, the previous robot or android that they had on their ship was, you know, a one-off, and these androids can actually be very helpful and, you know, and help save their lives, and how they kind of regain that trust within each other and stuff like that. So it's a nice storyline, a nice arc between these characters. I do like the story in general. You know, it makes sense why these people would go back, especially when it comes to like this big corporation company that we're kind of dealing with, that they're trying to colonize all these planets and stuff. You know, you have that one douchebag that is just trying to go back because, you know, this asset is worth millions and millions of dollars, and then you have the other group where they're going just to save people. They have no concern about the assets and the company and all that kind of stuff. So I do love how there's that conflicting aspect in between the actual just main group that we're in, where previously, you know, you couldn't trust the robot. Now you can trust an actual human that's within the group. So I do like that change in dynamic. Again, it's, you know, subverts your expectations, where you think the android is going to be the one that's being kind of sinister and trying to kill off the group, but now you realize that it's just one of the corporate people that's there with them that is the one that's being a little sinister. So I like that change of expectation when it comes to the dynamic of the group itself. And very similar to Alien, you also kind of get that you know, different expectation where you're going away from the planet after the facility has blown up, and you think that everybody is safe once again, and the Queen Alien is on board, and that's where you get that final badass battle between Ripley and the Queen Alien. But overall, I just really enjoy this movie. I think this movie is damn near a perfect film when it comes to the directing, the sound design, the music choices, the set design, costume design, practical effects, storytelling, characters. You know, all that stuff makes for such a wonderful watch in the Alien franchise. And the Xenomorph is one of the best aliens design out there, and seeing them more in full flesh when you have so many xenomorphs running around, and of course with the Queen Alien as well. It just makes for a just badass addition to this franchise. But now going on to the cons, and there is really not much I can say here. You know, I kind of already touched on it a little bit, where you have certain moments where, you know, the ship doesn't look as good, the effect doesn't look as good. It definitely just looks like a green screen and a miniature, and they just like move it along and stuff like that. But things like that are so minute. Like I said, for me, this movie is a damn near perfect film. I wouldn't say it's a damn near perfect horror film. It is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but it just, as a film in general, I think James Cameron did an amazing job here. So I don't really have many flaws or cons to go over on this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love Aliens. But overall, let me know what you guys think about Aliens in the comment section down below. I love this movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. Again, also make sure to share your excitement for Alien Romulus. I'd love to hear all your thoughts about that movie in the comment section down below. And again, if you guys like talking about movies, TV shows, or video game related, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next review. Thank you.